Hey everybody, welcome to Masters Fantasy presentation of our Dynasty Spotlight Series. My name is Jonathan, one of the commissioners here at Masters Fantasy Leagues, joined by two of our draft coordinators and the two guys I call when I need a little bit of help with my college college guys coming in.
Rookie drafts.
There you go. These are the guys to call. That's why they're here with us today. Before we get into the show, if you could hit that like and subscribe button, come be a part of the Masters family with us. In case you didn't know, over 600 Dynasty Leagues. We've never folded a single one. If you want to hop in a Dynasty League and you want it to be around 10 years from now, this is the place to play. All right, let's jump right into it. First, the Dynasty Spotlight guy for today is going to be Rondale Moore, Purdue wide receiver. First question up, how good of a prospect is he, and what current or past NFL player would you compare him to?
I mean, Rondale Moore is absolutely electric. I think that's like the best word to describe him. You know, size, not the biggest guy. He's, kind of on the smaller side, but what he can do with the football in his hands, attacking the ball, or attacking deep down the field, I should say. I mean, all that playmaking ability. I mean, we've seen guys in the league right now like Tyreek Hill. We've seen that size, not as important when you have that kind of playmaking ability. I mean, he's a really good receiver. He runs good routes, and obviously where he kills you is after the catch with all that dynamic athleticism and speed. I mean, he's a guy that's very interesting to me because we've seen some guys with similar, builds and abilities in the past few years or so, and they haven't done as much. But I still have a lot of faith in Rondale Moore. I mean, you've seen him take games over in college, and I think he's got that potential going forward in the pros. So I'm interested in him for sure. I think he's got a big career coming.
And your player comp?
Player comp's kind of tough for me.
It is, yeah.
Gosh, I don't really know. I mean, I don't want to say Tyreek Hill because nobody's really on that level. But I mean, he really does remind me of him with just some of the things he can do with his speed. I mean, it's legit.
Yeah.
I don't know if Al's got one particularly.
So I kind of copped out. I have a combination of three people.
There we go.
But yeah, the doc pretty much said it all. I feel the exact same way. And even, just to point out a couple of things I like even more about him. Yeah, he's small, but more than anything, he's really just short. I mean, his body is, thick enough where he looks like, not a running back, but I mean, he breaks tackles after the catch. He runs tough. He's shorter, but not super thin. He just looks like he can still break tackles at the NFL level too. Like, I'm not worried about him getting hurt, even though he's smaller.
Right.
So my kind of pro player comps for him, combination of like a Notre Dame boy in Golden Tate.
Oh, I love that.
Ohio State boy in Curtis Samuel.
There you go.
And then Kansas State Tyler Lockett. And then also Tyreek Hill too. But I kind of didn't want to throw the Tyreek in there just because it's just real hard to. But just how good he is after the catch, can be a monster in the slot. Also is still a complete wide receiver, runs good routes, catches with his hands. I think he's kind of a perfect blend of those three guys. And I think in today's NFL, the fantasy ceiling's pretty high.
Oh, wow. And that really makes me comfortable to hear you say that. Because, as I was writing down my stuff for it, 5'9", 181 pounds, just concerned me immediately.
I'm curious what he'll weigh in at the combine, because 180 does seem like, but I almost feel like he might be a little shorter, but weigh a little more. Like, I feel like he's just very...
I think he'll be a little thicker than
Exactly,
that.
yeah. Like, vertically it's not there, but I feel like he really does have a body to withstand some NFL hits.
Gotcha. And then, one of the first guys that came to me, and I haven't watched a ton of them, but one of the first guys when I heard about his size, his speed, was like Deshaun Jackson, which always comes to mind for me. I'm just curious.
100%. Like, Tavon Austin is kind of like one of those small guys who I love, but I feel like the difference between like him and a Tavon Austin and even the Deshaun Jackson is he just seems like he can withstand hits way more, can play in the middle a lot more, break more NFL tackles, rather than just being a speed threat on the outside. He can make people miss, he can run through tackles, can really do it all.
I like it. Got me thinking like a Deshaun Jackson with the toughness of a Anquan Bolden. I like it.
Yeah.
Good stuff, guys. All right, going to move on to the next one here, possible NFL destinations. What teams you think could draft him, and what teams you think would be the best fit for him?
So I think this might work out because I feel like he might get drafted like mid-late first round. I mean, I haven't really taken a look at too many legit mock drafts yet.
I did for you.
Good. Honestly, a team that keeps coming to mind though, and I'm just thinking like, the LA Chargers, I think he would be a really good complement to Keenan Allen, and I think that would get you a nice weapon to pair with Justin Herbert going forward, since they really, they're throwing to a bunch of no-names right now. Hunter Henry, obviously solid. Keenan Allen, very good. We know that. Mike Williams can't stay healthy, but even then, he's more of a bigger body receiver. I think Rondale Moore would be able to come in and give them something they don't have right now and give Herbert a nice new weapon to play with a little bit. So
I like it. And anybody that pairs up with Herbert in this upcoming rookie draft, he's going to be a hot commodity. Just a quick question I just wanted to ask you right quick along those lines of thinking in LA. If he did get drafted to LA in a fresh dynasty draft right now, would you take Keenan Allen at 29 or would you take Rondale Moore younger?
Man, that's a tough question because we've seen, Herbert really does like getting the ball to Keenan Allen. It'd be hard to take him though. That early, 29 years old makes a big difference, and we've known Keenan Allen doesn't have the, cleanest medical history, so to speak, and we've seen that hamper him a little bit this year as well. And I think for that reason, I'll go with Rondale Moore, who's going to be with Herbert for a long period of time.
I like it.
Yeah, I'd say the same there. So the two destinations that I have are kind of very similar in the sense of could be playing quarterback for them next year, and that's Miami and Philly. Mm-hmm. I look at Tua Tagovailoa. Oh my gosh, whoa.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah, let's go Tua for now. And then Jalen Hurts, two quarterbacks who were linked in college at Alabama, then went their separate ways. But you look at Miami. Yes, they have Devontae Parker on the outside, but they could use a real threat in the slot and just kind of modernize that offense with Tua. And then same thing with Philly. They just took Jalen Reagor in the first round, so I doubt they would kind of double dip and go a wide receiver again in the first, especially with all their other holes. But I think that'd be an exciting landing spot. So I guess Miami is kind of my more realistic best case scenario. Pair him up with Tua for the foreseeable future. Have Devontae Parker playing on the outside, open things up a little bit. I think that'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. And if I was Philly, what I've seen out of Jalen Hurts these last 2 weeks, I'd draft 2 more receivers.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive what he's done with, little to no help.
Right, absolutely.
Good stuff. All right, guys. Next question, probably the most important question to me, draft stock. Taking a look at upcoming Dynasty rookie drafts. I kind of look for your best and worst case scenarios. Perhaps if you went to Philly, I'd consider him here.
Yeah. So it's really tough because, you got to think where it is. Everybody else lands too.
Right.
I don't know if I see him ever going 1.1, but I think very early first. So I'll say 1.3 to 1.9. But really 1.3 to 1.7, I'd say is his realistic range for me.
Yeah. I was just going to say mid-first round is where I see him realistically. And I don't really know if there's any situation off the top of my head that would really catapult him up into like a top 3 range, but yeah, mid-first is probably where he's probably going to end up.
All right, good stuff. And just one of the recent mock drafts I looked at today, I had him going number 60 to the Buffalo Bills. I actually really like that too.
Yeah.
Kind of like a John Brown replacement.
Yeah, for sure.
I just something
Diggs would be very interesting.
I think so too. And we'll have to see. And so the next one here, Dynasty Football Outlook. Do you guys feel strongly this is a guy we'll still be talking about in 3 to 5 years of fantasy football?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good stuff. And then the last question, you had just gave me you would take him over Keenan Allen on the Chargers. So if you can pull one out, give me a scenario that might be a little shocking that I would take him over him in this scenario.
That's interesting. Well, I'm kind of trying to think.
I'm trying to come up with a hot take, like a receiver who's not completely past this, like a Keenan Allen type.
Right.
I'm trying to think of another example.
I feel like Keenan Allen's a good example.
That
Yeah,
was a good example. I'm trying to think of one there.
I would take him over Julio at this point, but Julio's 33 now.
I think Julio's a good example.
Yeah.
Julio, Keenan Allen.
So if on your dynasty rosters, if you've got Julio and you're looking to rebuild, that could be a nice flip this offseason. Get something while you can.
Right. All right, guys. Good stuff. That's going to wrap up this edition of our Dynasty Spotlight. We posted about 5-6 of these now. Please go take a look at them. Really good stuff from these guys. Thanks so much for listening.